Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us and see us clearly. Welcome to our webinar called Teaching about European Citizenship Across Curricula. As you might have noticed, it's part of our project Teach Europe, and of course, more information will follow later. We thought of giving a few minutes to other colleagues to join. And until that time, maybe you can use the chat already and let us know from where you're watching us from. Maybe where is your school located? Why did you find it interesting to join this webinar? If it aligns with your interests as teachers, we would be very happy to hear a bit about this. In the meantime, let me tell you that this session is being recorded. The recording has already started. And in order to follow and respect, of course, the general data protection regulations, we invite you not to share any personal information on the chat. As you can see, your cameras and your microphones are disabled. However, if you would like to ask something to our speaker, if you would like to share some thoughts of yours, if you have any questions, any technical issues, please let us know in the chat. Me and my colleague Eugenia will be here to support you and help you as much as possible to make this session very pleasant for you and make sure that no one will face any issues. I see that people have already started adding their input in the chat. Greetings from Romania, I see. Hello, Roxana. Hi, Angela. I hope you're all doing well. Maybe we can wait one more minute because I see more people joining. Yes, you can feel free to add some information about you in the chat, but again, please not share any personal information such as mobile phones or emails. Hello, Irena. Hello, Michaela. So nice meeting you and seeing you, some of you again here. I think we are fine to start, maybe. I will make a very, very short introduction to our project, Teach Europe. Some of you might be familiar with the project, and some of you also might not be very familiar. So I would like to highlight here some key points of the project. This project has been developed through a Jean Monnet action, and it aims to strengthen the pedagogical offer on topics of European citizenship and the European Union, as you can see here in the slide. It upskills teachers by providing them with innovative learning scenarios to implement an EU perspective across the curriculum. We will elaborate a bit more on these learning scenarios later on. And of course, it empowers teachers through training and offers students the chance to learn more about the European Union, think critically about their European identity, and of course, explore the concept, the topic of active citizenship. Overall, it is a project that is, let's say, tailor-made for teachers, mainly for teachers coming from the secondary education. However, all the activities and all the information in there can be adjusted to other school grades, school levels. As part of this project, we have developed an online course which opened 3 days ago. Basically, in this course, you will be introduced to the learning scenarios that I mentioned earlier. For the purposes of this project, we collaborated with some teachers. You might see some of them today here in the chat. Some of them might also say a hi later on. Through this course, we would like to present you those learning scenarios, 12 in total. And of course, those scenarios are aligned to the project and the course's aims itself. As you can see here, we have some important, let's say, learning objectives of the course itself. This course aims to equip teachers with resources, those learning scenarios and additional resources, of course, and strategies to integrate European perspective across STEM and humanities subjects using innovative learning scenarios and classroom tested materials. Of course, here let me say that those learning scenarios have been tested, have been piloted, and have been validated. So if you're part of this course, feel free to test yourselves some of the activities. We invite you to go through the learning scenarios and may try to, let's say, add a more innovative aspect in your subjects. Participants, of course, during this course will explore and critically examine some concepts, the concept of European identity, EU relevance to daily relevance, sorry, to daily life, and of course by fostering a deeper understanding of these topics. We hope that teachers will be empowered to facilitate discussions on European issues. This course will also encourage students' participation in democratic processes and, of course, create connections between diverse European cultures and perspectives. The course has 4 modules in total. We can, let's say, divide them. We have 3 courses, 3 modules, sorry, that include all the learning scenarios and some additional theory and resources, of course, and one final module, module 4, which mainly consists of the final activity, which has to be completed by the 16th of April. That's the deadline of the course. That's when the course finishes. And of course, you will find many more material besides the learning scenarios that were developed for this for the project Teach Europe. I would like to introduce you to the people behind the course. Our amazing project and course coordinator, Eugenia. She can say hi. I don't know if she wants to say a few things about herself.
Hi, indeed. Hello, good afternoon. I'm connecting here from the Future Classroom Lab here in Brussels. So it's a pleasure to see many of you connecting today, and it's been a pleasure as well to hear about you and hear from you in the activities of the course through this week. So thank you so much already for your very active participation in the course activities. It's been great as well to hear of your experiences, to hear about you and where you're connecting from the Padlets that we've created and introduction exercises. So thank you very much for your participation, and I look forward to the coming weeks together, our learning journey that is coming up in the next week. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Eugenia. Then you will see my name there probably. My name is Maria Elena. I am a project member of the Teach Europe project. I have been supporting Eugenia with this, let's say, initiative. We have been developing the course together, and I'm very excited to see you all here. I really hope that you will enjoy the course and that you will find the materials developed interesting and useful, of course, because as I mentioned, our primary, let's say, aim is to support teachers to make their classroom more active, let's say, nurture active citizens, the students, I mean. And I would like to proceed with our next, let's say, person behind the course, Maria. I see that Maria is online, is here. Maybe Maria, would you like to say something? Say hi for you. for...
Okay, yeah, I can have this on. Hello, how are you? Thank you very much. I'm Maria Silva, as you can see, and I will be one of the course moderators. And I'm very pleased to have joined this excellent team, as you can see, and you will see along the way. They are wonderful people, very eager to not only to teach us and to help us grow, but also to learn from us. And that's what we are here for, to support you along the way during the course. And I hope it will be an interesting journey for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maria. Indeed, in case you have any questions, Maria will be there
Yeah, that's
in the
right.
background supporting you. And I don't see Otilia here, but then I can speak on behalf of her. But Otilia has been a STEM educator for 30 years. She's also scientific ambassador. You will find her learning scenario, of course, in the course. and her contribution is also very important. She will be working, let's say, with Maria behind the course moderation. She will be there with Maria to support you and reply to any questions, anything, any concerns, something that you would like to further discuss. I would like now to give the floor to Eugenia, because he would like to present you some very interesting findings coming from Module 1. Eugenia, maybe you can.
Thanks, Maria Elena. Indeed. So this morning, Maria Elena and I were discussing about the results that we already see of the activities that we proposed in the course. And there's one activity that we would like to kind of bounce back at you. And so if you recall in Module 1, we asked ourselves the question, what is Europe? Not only what is Europe, but what is Europe? So we asked you to come up with certain keywords that you associate to the word Europe. As Maria Elena has written on the slides, it's quite an abstract concept from geography to culture to history, etc. But we asked you that question. And so far, like, it may change in the coming days, but so far here's the latest update on the word cloud that we are all of us creating together. And I find very interesting as well that there's some words that are coming up quite strongly, such as diversity, culture, democracy, union, of course, we associated to the political project that is the European Union. And very interestingly, there's a very big word that comes up quite often, which is the word history as well. So I guess many of you also have an understanding of Europe as a historical project as well. Very interestingly, I think these are very common associations with the word Europe. What I'm very excited about is that we will see in the coming weeks that Europe is not just history, it's not just past, it's also the future. And we are also going to approach the topic of Europe or Europe in our classroom from a cross-curricular approach, something that we already introduced on this first module. So I find very exciting as well that we're going to see to what else Europe associates. I already see some very interesting words in the word cloud. If you look at the top right corner, you see the word space. So that's also indeed, Europe has to say in space. In the space policy. You also see innovation there. You also see architecture. You also see interculturality. You also get to see some words like collaboration and good life and growth. So there's already some hints in this word cloud at what we may encounter in the coming weeks. So it's very exciting because in a way this word cloud is telling our future, the future of our learning journey. So that's it. Just a very quick comment to kind of bounce back the ideas that you're already having. But I look forward now to the session. But back to you, Maria Elena.
And I really hope that we will, let's say, reinforce this interest around the topic of Europe for all educators who have joined the course. And of course, feel free if you want to share the course with colleagues, invite them to join, invite them to learn more about what Europe is besides legislation and laws, because Europe is not just this, it's also some values, it's also some let's say it's the influence in our daily lives, from the way we communicate, the means we use to communicate, to the products we buy and the warranties behind them. So with no further delays, and because today we are here for NEDA basically, I would like to introduce you to our speaker. Neda is a very experienced educator, project manager, and instructional designer dedicated to fostering European citizenship education. She has an extensive experience in designing innovative teaching materials that promote inclusion, critical thinking, and of course, active citizenship. Today with Neda, we will explore some practical strategies for integrating European citizenship education into various school subjects, fostering critical thinking, inclusion, and of course, active participation. Without further delays, I would like now to give the floor to Neda, and she can, let's say, provide more information about those topics.
Thank you very much for introduction. Thank you all for joining today in this webinar. I hope that you will enjoy, and I hope that this will be useful for you. I prepared the webinar and I will share the screen in the way that I thought that maybe interaction between us will be better than my lectures, but I will share the screen and we will start to see. I hope that everything will be okay with my screen. Just let me know if you can see my presentation now. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah, perfect. It works.
Is everything okay now?
Yes,
Yes, when I was thinking about developing this webinar, I had different approaches. I was thinking about having broad sense of what is European citizenship and in which way you can implement citizenship across curricula. But the main idea was to have you as educators, as a subject of education, to give you practical tools and strategies to integrate European citizenship into different subjects and making it relevant, engaging, and actionable for students. I think that now it is really important, and when I prepared my webinar, I changed this beginning of webinar because I was motivated by you, by your questions. I saw that you think about things that are really important today, and I have a feeling in this globalized world now, when our lives and lives of our students are more or less online, I think that we are at some breaking point here, and that we have to be really concerned and really think about in which way we will approach and teach European citizenship. So I was motivated with your questions, and thank you for leaving questions in our Padlet, link. I choose 3 questions, and I will start to explain a webinar based on your on what you think about European citizenship. You asked in which way we can effectively integrate European citizenship education into subjects that are not directly related to social science or political studies. Also, your questions, that was anonymous, and Patricia from Portugal, she asked, how can we foster and try to strengthen the feeling of belonging and active citizenship by talking about these issues in citizenship and intercultural communication classes, when more and more young people are feeling let down by politicians and are scared about their future as citizens and professionals. And that is why I chose your questions, because you have a good point. You see what is happening to young people and in which way they relate to what is surrounding us and what is happening in global political scene, and how they can participate in meaningful way. And last question was from Matteo. I am really pleased to have this question because I think it's quite important. I started my webinar with this. Matteo said that he's a history teacher and he's very interested in the topic of the EU. And his question is related to rise of Eurosceptic nationalism and how to combat this trend in classroom. You can see now, and if you are part of any social media, you can see big shift in political environment, and you really can see that many politicians are now quite vocal about Euroscepticism, and that we are in some way, as I said at the beginning of this webinar, it looks like we are at some melting point. So I started with your questions, and I will try to answer them with giving you, I will not say giving you advice, but trying to see how can we think about European citizenship and how can we implement European citizenship in meaningful way, but not as a subject that is divided and that is not related to our everyday teaching. I think that everything that we are doing in classroom is somehow related to citizenship. First question is really interesting. We are exactly here today. When we think about European citizenship education, we often associate it with social sciences, history, political studies. Usually we have some extracurricula or some extra subject in European or citizenship alone. But as I said, the values of European citizenship, like democracy, inclusion, human rights, sustainability, cultural diversity, are not related to one subject. They are the foundation of how we interact with each other, how we make decisions, everyday decisions, and how we contribute to our communities. And that is really important to teach our students. And they are already doing this. We just have to guide them in some way. How can we integrate those principles across all subjects? Some suggestions are to connect citizenship with everyday learning. In language classes, it's maybe always the easiest because students can explore narratives from different European cultures, read EU literature, or debate important social issues. In physical education, we can teach them about fair play, about teamwork, which reflect democratic values like respect, equality, and inclusion in action. In arts and music, European identity can be explored through artistic movements, cultural heritage, and how art has historically influenced democracy and activism. But as you will see during this course and during this webinar, it is everything that we do, our interaction with each other is citizenship. So keep that in mind, that approach and our attitude to European citizenship is really important. How can we foster and try to strengthen the feeling of belonging and active citizenship by talking about these issues in citizenship and intercultural communication classes, when more and more young people are feeling let down by politicians and are scared about their futures as citizens and professionals? I would say this new generation of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're already like having big revolts against mainstream politicians, mainstream communities. So they are slipping away and they're revolting. So we have to think about in which way we can teach them about citizenship. This is a critical challenge today, how to foster a sense of belonging and active citizenship among young people who feel betrayed by politics and who feel uncertain about their future. In citizenship and intercultural communication classes, we can take a practical, empowering, and student-centered approach to help them connect with their role in society. This is really important. We have to make citizenship personal and relevant. Students have to feel belonging to their community, to their class, and then they will have idea and they will have motivation to change something or to make more, to participate more or to take more active role in society. You can start with students with their lived experiences. For example, you can ask them, what challenges do you see in your community? What would you change if you had the power? It's not like that we can change the world, but we can change step by step our communities, our classrooms, our approach to teaching, and everything else will follow. My suggestion is to discuss real life stories of young change makers and activists who are shaping the future of Europe. Use case studies of successful youth initiatives such as climate action groups, youth-led social enterprises, or EU-funded projects that have made a difference. It is really important to make this personal, to have connection between student and what they are thinking of societies. Then you can connect intercultural communication with belonging. Many students feel disconnected, not just from politics, but from their identity as Europeans. Help them see themselves in Europe by exploring how their local culture is connected to broader European history, using peer exchanges, online or physical, where they can interact with students from different countries. Encourage multilingual communication to break barriers in expressing ideas and engaging in cross-border dialogue. And I think that most of you are familiar with Erasmus Plus, and that is the main idea of this exchange of cultures, of languages, of meeting new countries and interact with different cultures and finding the best in each other. I was really happy with this question, although it is not optimistic, and we are in the world that is now more and more on the rise of this Euroscepticism, this nationalistic, populistic politics. We can see that young people are revolting. They will maybe they will revolt only because they don't like mainstream, and that is typical for formative age and for growing. And sometimes it can lead them to a sort of radicalization or some sort of extremism. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Twitter and what is happening now on X, and what is happening with Elon Musk, and all these questions are quite interesting when you think about what is happening now in the world. This is a great question. When we teach about European citizenship and integration in a time of rising Euroscepticism and rising of nationalism, this is a challenge. But this is also an opportunity to foster critical thinking, dialogue, and engagement. The key is not to combat Euroscepticism directly, but to equip students with the skills and knowledge to analyze, debate, and form their own well-reasoned opinions. We should focus on critical thinking, not indoctrination, not to say, no, this is bad and this is good, and they will revolt. We have to encourage students to think about strengths, challenges, and what is good and what is bad in Europe as well. And you can ask them question, what would Europe look like without the EU? What are the biggest criticism of the EU? How can you validate what is happening there? How does nationalism impact European cooperation? So find relation in what is happening now, and think about focusing on development of their critical thinking, not saying to them, no, this is good, this is not good. It won't work. I will show you at the end of the webinar. There are many good resources for you. You can give students some EU political speeches for analysis. You can give them some data on economic and social impacts, and you can give them a task to come to their own conclusions. You can host some debates. You can assign students with different perspectives on European integration and make a sort of deliberation and weighing of arguments, what is pro-EU, what is not for EU, and so on. The main thing is to focus on their critical thinking, and what I said already, not to say to them, this is good and this is not good, this is bad. I will start this webinar with really short introduction, what is importance, what is European citizenship education. As I said, this is really broad term, and you will see in different European countries there are different approaches based on national ministries of education, national agencies, and so on. But in today rapidly changing world, European citizenship education is more important than ever. It goes beyond learning about EU institutions. It's not like that they need to know what is European Commission and European Parliament. It's about fostering a sense of belonging, responsibility, and active participation in shaping the future of Europe. This is really important. We need young people to think about the future. Sorry, why is European citizenship education essential? With declining voter turnout and increasing political disengagement, which you already noticed at the beginning, students need to understand how democracy works and why their voices matter. European citizenship education equips young people with the skills to think critically, engage in democratic debates, and make informed choices about their future. They need to know that their voice matters. European citizenship is really important for inclusion, promotion, and social cohesion. Europe is diverse. This is the greatest richness of Europe. And understanding different cultures, perspectives, and histories helps students develop empathy and a shared European identity. Citizenship education encourages respect for human rights, tolerance, and inclusion, reducing discrimination and fostering social harmony. Something that I really, really like here in this thinking about and approaching in European citizenship, as I said at the beginning, I think that many young people now live online, and that is their new environment. You can see this. They have friends there, they hang out on social media, but they're also exposed to many disinformation, to many propaganda, to many fake news. And it is really important to understand that teaching about misinformation and strengthening media literacy is really, really important. You can see that we are overloaded with information, and sometimes it's quite difficult to think about them critically. We don't have time, so it's easy for young people to fall in trap and to believe in some conspiracy theories and so on. You saw, after all, in the time of COVID-19, in which way disinformation influenced our approach to health. And I think that it made quite a big shift in how people now critically think about information. So I think that media literacy now is really, really important in teaching European citizenship. How to do this? Teaching about European values help counter disinformation and build resilient, informed citizens. But as I said at the beginning, critical thinking is really, really important skill. And as I said, we are overloaded with informations. I have one, now I talk too much, I have one slide for you. That was a brief beginning and brief introduction to webinar. So I have a question for you on Slido, and now I will try to change my window for you to have this Slido question. Just a second. Just let me know if you can see this first one. Okay, I already see one.
Yeah, I have shared the link.
This is you can scan the QR code and you can join with the code. If you can see this, my first question is, what is the best way? I'm sorry. Please excuse me. We have some problems. I'm sorry. This is the first. I'm sorry. So sorry. This is the first question. Oh no, it's not working. Okay. I accept my apologies. I made a mistake. You can think about this. My first question was, what is the most common fake news or misconception about the EU that you heard from your students? something with my link is not working. So you can think about this and write me in chat. What your students think about European EU skepticism, and what is the biggest fake news? I will give you a few minutes. You can write in chat, and if someone can help me to read, because I can see only my screen, my Slido. I apologize again. My Slido is with different link.
No, that is okay. I see that there are people in the second question. As for the first question, maybe to the participants I'm talking now, maybe you can add your input in the chat. Maybe you can say
yes,
a word.
Yeah. This is the first. This what you are already doing is the second. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I want
okay.
to ask you
Don't worry.
about this. What is the most common fake news or misconception about the EU that you heard from your students?
I see already a reply from Maria. They even don't care too much about EU fake news, just sport and society news. Now we can see. Yes, we can see the. It's okay. It has changed. Perfect.
Yes, I didn't mention, but also Ukrainian war now is big topic in our European everyday life, and I think that it's really important to have also good approach to this issue. Yes, the war, the fear of war. I will give you a few more minutes so you can write in chat. Money given to the countries. Yes, that is all right.
We also have another comment in the chat. Kids see Europe as a geographical concept only.
This is a great thing that they think EU policies have no impact to their lives. Perfect imposes limits and taxes.
One more comment in the chat. They feel Europe as an enemy. We have one more comment in the chat, Neda. Our students believe that the find on TikTok, they are not against EU. I don't quite understand. They also say they can't understand the difference between Europe as a continent and the EU, as the European Union.
Brussels, okay. Money used in Brussels, the war, laws, traditions, big say, national governments. Yes, mostly it is like this. I will wait for one reply more and I will continue. Okay. Yes, this is something that can lead us to European skepticism, which is really, really dangerous to our democracies, and we can see many new parties that are feeding these populistic narratives about Europe as a failed project. Okay, I will go back to my presentation. Just let me know if you can see it now.
Yes, Nada, we can see. Just, yeah, click the presentation mode.
After this, after your replies, what surprises you the most in responses? How can you help your students critically evaluate these claims? You can also join me and answer if you want.
I have shared in the chat the results from the poll. Maybe people can revisit them.
Yes, we have to keep in mind that we need to guide students to critically evaluate these claims about European Union. I really do think that media literacy is really, really important in nowadays. Okay, we can proceed. I will give you now practical strategies for integrating citizenship education across subjects, and I will start by giving you general subjects and some ideas how can you implement and integrate citizenship in those subjects. In the subject of language and literature, you can explore European perspectives. You can ask your students to read texts from different European cultures and discuss the themes of migration, democracy, and human rights. You can use good teaching methods like debate and storytelling. You can organize debates on European challenges and let students create narratives about life as a European citizen. In STEM subjects, we would say there is no possible way to have integrated citizenship in those subjects, but there is. You can, for example, link sustainability and EU policies. You can discuss the Green Deal and climate action in science. You can discuss ethics in technology. You can examine the EU approach to AI, digital rights, and misinformation. You can work on data analysis, use real EU statistics like Eurostat for mathematics lessons on migration, employment, or climate change. So you can see that even in those subjects, you can use European citizenship. In art and music, explore European heritage. How does art reflect social and political change in Europe? Music and protest movements. Analyze how songs and artistic movements have influenced democracy. And we have many, many beautiful examples in our history. In physical education and STEM again, because you will see why I'm repeating STEM again. You can have topics of fair play and inclusion, discuss the European values of teamwork, respect, and non-discrimination. You can discuss about Olympic values and European identity, explore how international sports promote unity. So you can see that even in sports, we can have European citizenship integrated. In ICT and media literacy, this is really interesting. You can work with your students on finding and fighting disinformation. You can use fact-checking challenges and EU media literacy resources. You can teach digital citizenship. You can discuss online privacy, cyber rights, and EU laws and data protection, like GDPR. I would now make one digression here, because as I said, our young people, our students are mostly online and they are not aware of privacy concerns. Sometimes they will share their private pictures, sometimes they will be victims of some sort of violation of private rights on internet. So those questions are really, really important in teaching European citizenship. I will give you now some methods and activities you can use, and you will see that the European Union and also many funded European projects already have a big open source database of good examples for teaching and learning. But I will suggest you with some approaches, methods for teaching, like project-based learning, in which students can work on real European issues like sustainable cities, migration, youth engagement. This is quite interesting for our students. You can use role-playing and stimulations. You can model European Parliament. You can mock EU Council, Citizen Assembly. Those are really fruitful and good methods for teaching European citizenship. And I'm sure that you are already familiar with eTwinning and Erasmus Plus projects, in which cross-cultural exchanges foster and contribute to experience of European citizenship firsthand. Also, as a method of teaching, you can use gamification and digital tools, interactive EU quizzes, escape rooms, virtual reality experiences of European history. But I'm a big promoter of going out of the classroom and connecting students and classroom with communities, and encouraging active citizenship beyond the classroom. So students can organize some local projects, some local activities based on European themes. For example, climate action, inclusion campaigns, and so on. They can also see problems in their school and solve some problems. They can connect classroom lessons with local democratic participation. So, as I said in the beginning of this webinar, always start with small steps, with something that students can relate to, that they can feel that they are relevant and they can really participate in some action that can be in classroom, in local community, in regional community, and then European level. I suppose that you're already familiar with EU resources for schools like Parliament, Ambassador Schools, European Youth Portal, and eTwinning. I will now ask you some questions, so feel free to join me now after this brief introduction of how to integrate European citizenship across curricula. What do you think, what are your biggest challenges in teaching European citizenship? sometimes teachers will say we don't have time. We have our subjects and we don't have time to integrate citizenship in curricula. Which of today's strategies would work best in your subject area? And how can we collaborate beyond this webinar? So if you can join me, I'm sorry, if you can join me here, and if someone wants to reply and say something, you can choose one question, you can think about those questions. Do we have someone to join me here?
Neda, I see a reply already from Otilia. We can share student testimonials about how EU policies have helped them study abroad, work in the different EU countries, or gain access to EU-funded research programs.
I think that is really, really great. What do you think how you now as participants can collaborate beyond this webinar, beyond this course? How can you connect, exchange practices?
Neda, have shared the questions in the chat. Maybe give the participants 1-2 minutes to maybe reflect a bit on the questions.
Yes, of course.
Feel free to add your replies on the chat. It's not a quiz or a Slido. You can add just a very short phrase if you want in the chat. Okay, Neda, I see we have a reply from Maria. Sometimes they look more interested, I guess the students, about marks than critical thinking. So when you introduce some kind of activities based on comparative methodologies, they just don't pay attention to the topic. Maria wants to propose a collaboration beyond webinar and the webinar and the course. Maria says that by setting up an e-twinning project and inviting other colleagues to reflect on the topic of how the EU impacts their lives. Michela, sorry if I'm not pronouncing correctly, mentioned that I usually run e-twinning projects to promote European citizenship among my primary pupils. Natalia said that create common projects based on some of the activities, organize debates between the schools and different teams. That's interesting, the debates between schools. I see that people are agreeing with the twinning project's ideas and with the debate idea as well between the schools.
Okay, we can then
Yeah, maybe we
proceed.
can proceed, yes.
Yes. We are now more or less at the end, at this final reflection. From now on, I will go back to this slide or two. How will you integrate European citizenship in your teaching from now on? I will go back to Slidos. Oh, I can see many questions now. No, this is fake news. I have some problems with Slidos, obvious today. My question is, what is the best way for educators to stay connected and collaborate on European citizenship education? I think that if you are already here and exchanging your ideas and exchanging ideas in the course is really big thing for your collaboration. But how can you make it concrete? And how you will teach European citizenship from now on? Yes, cooperate, work together.
Neda, maybe if you press the present button, it might change because I still see the first question.
It's always when I press the button.
Let's see if it will change.
Like this.
Maybe when there is a button that says hide the results on the bottom of the screen. No. It's okay. Oh, now I can see it. It's okay. Now it's working. I can copy that link, and people can add their input maybe. Yeah, Slido sometimes needs some time to work. Don't worry.
Okay. Courses like this, work together. Exchange ideas, projects, perfect. Perfect. Make a community, exchange experiences. Partnerships. Of course, Erasmus projects. Involve our schools.
We have also some input in the chat, Neda.
You can
Collaborating on cross-border projects that involve students from multiple EU countries, Erasmus Plus and eTwinning, eTwinning and Erasmus projects, online student meetings.
Oh, really nice. I can see here CLIL. Is it chill? Or is it method of learning language? I hope we can chill together as well. Okay, thank you so much. We will now finish. I would like to say that our journey in teaching European citizenship doesn't end here. It goes through collaboration and shared experiences. By staying connected with like-minded educators across Europe, we can exchange ideas, we can co-create projects and inspire each other to make citizenship education meaningful for our students. And that's why I asked you this previous question. I will now give you some suggestions how to stay engaged. You can join eTwinning and connect with teachers across Europe for virtual collaboration, student projects, and professional development. You can get involved in Erasmus Plus, explore mobility programs, exchanges, and partnerships that bring European values to life in your classroom. This is something really interesting. I would really recommend this to engage with European Parliament ambassador schools. You can apply, your school can apply to this and can get this license to be ambassador schools, and you will have many interesting topics and activities. In that way, you can promote active citizenship and democracy through school-based initiatives. You can be part of EU teacher networks, share resources, lesson plans, and best practices in dedicated online communities, and bring European citizenship education into everyday learning. No matter what subject you teach, small actions can have a big impact. When we teach European citizenship, we are not just shaping students' knowledge, we are shaping their future as engaged, responsible, and empowered citizens. Together, we can inspire the next generation to take an active role in building the future of Europe. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement. I really enjoyed. And I hope that maybe we will meet again in some other opportunities. I will now stop my sharing.
Thank you very much, Neda. Thank you very much for this very interesting and, let's say, fruitful content that you have shared with us today. All your ideas, all the activities that you included, of course, enabled some, let's say, discussion points for our attendees today. We really hope that you enjoyed this session. We really hope that you're taking some things with you after this webinar. I would like to conclude with something that you said earlier. The important thing, and of course, something that all the people have been mentioning in the chat and in the Slidos, it's to try to stay connected, of course, look for opportunities and take chance of opportunity, use these opportunities to collaborate with other teachers and make sure to engage your students and encourage your students to participate, collaborate with other students as well, coming from other countries, and of course help them better understand what does citizenship education means, what does being an active citizen means, and of course help them better understand what the European Union is besides the geographical, let's say, besides being a continent, besides being a very abstract, let's say, term. Thank you very much, Neda. We hope to see you all soon. We hope to see you in the course. Of course, once again, let me remind you that the course concludes on the 16th of April. And feel free to use the courses forum to make any questions. You can also join our Facebook group if you have enrolled in the course. I am leaving the link of the Facebook group in the chat. And thank you once again for your engagement in this session. And thank you very much, Neda. See you all soon. Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.